All you need to do is put your signature right there, ma'am, and everything will be handled for you." The sharply dressed man in charcoal pushed forward his golden pen. Flashing a smile that felt more predatory than friendly, the frail woman's head bobbed in uncertain agreement. Her shaking fingers wavering above the documents scattered across the restaurant table. The ambient sounds of clinking dishes and chattering patrons created a backdrop of normalcy. From the outside, this appeared to be nothing more than routine paperwork being completed. Yet for her, it felt like being cornered. She fought to control her breathing. The man's piercing stare, his insistence on rushing her, the overwhelming stack of paperwork. Every instinct told her this wasn't right. But what could she do? She was completely on her own and defenseless. Or so the stranger believed. Her fingers began to move against the tabletop, 3 digits rising delicately, bending slightly, then returning to their normal position. This was a distress signal she'd learned about from television coverage, a wordless plea for assistance. To casual observers, it appeared meaningless. However, someone was paying attention, sitting at a table on the opposite side of the restaurant. A uniformed serviceman maintained his quiet watch, his faithful German Shepherd companion resting beside him. He'd stopped in for some coffee following a lengthy road trip. His canine partner settled peacefully at his boots. When he caught sight of those moving fingers, that deliberate, shaky gesture, his spine stiffened with alarm. This wasn't just nervousness. This was someone desperately seeking help. His gaze locked onto the well-dressed stranger. Every protective instinct the veteran possessed surged to life. Bending toward his four-legged partner, he murmured something that immediately caught the dog's full attention. Within moments, the soldier rose to his feet, his heavy footsteps echoing across the tile floor as he approached the woman's table. Dining. Conversations stopped mid-sentence, utensils suspended in the air. An electric tension filled the space as everyone wondered what was happening. "Is there a problem here, ma'am?" His tone remained controlled and measured, yet carried undeniable authority. The businessman's confident expression wavered momentarily. "No trouble at all, soldier. We're just handling some routine legal business. Nothing that concerns you." He gestured dismissively while keeping one hand positioned near the documentation. The senior woman raised her eyes to meet the Marine's gaze, her mouth pressed into a thin line, tears threatening to spill. Once again, her hand performed that subtle signal. The veteran's expression hardened like granite. "Perhaps," he stated firmly, "the lady should be allowed to answer for herself." The con artist laughed mockingly, pushing back in his seat. "There's no need for that. She's ready to complete the signing process." His knuckles went white. As he clutched the pen more tightly, a menacing rumble emerged from the shepherd's throat, revealing gleaming fangs. The entire diner fell into complete stillness. The Marine moved closer, his imposing frame now casting a shadow over their table. "Ma'am," he said gently, paying no attention to the other man, "do you feel threatened?" The elderly woman's lower lip trembled as she gave the faintest affirmative nod. That small confirmation was all the confirmation he required, moving with lightning speed. The serviceman's arm swept forward, grabbing the paperwork and slapping it down on the nearby counter. "These documents are fraudulent," he declared, his expert training allowing him to spot the deception immediately. The scammer bolted upright, his chair scraping loudly against the floor. Before he could make his escape, however, the German Shepherd sprang into action, releasing a thunderous bark that seemed to shake the entire building. The criminal stopped dead in his tracks, his face draining of all color as he raised both hands in defeat. Someone among the diners had already contacted emergency services. Police officers arrived within minutes, placing the perpetrator in handcuffs and escorting him away in humiliation. The woman released a shuddering breath, overwhelming relief washing through her fragile frame as she managed to whisper her gratitude. The Marine crouched down beside her chair, placing a comforting hand on her arm. "What you did took incredible bravery," he told her. "You reached out for help, and someone was listening." The shepherd gently pressed his nose against her palm, his tail moving in slow, reassuring wags as if communicating that danger had passed. News of the rescue traveled rapidly throughout the community. Residents celebrated both the Marine and his canine partner as local champions. Media organizations covered the remarkable account of an elderly victim who employed a silent distress call to avoid being swindled, and the veteran who responded without a moment's hesitation. Online comments flooded in praising her quick thinking, but even greater acclaim went to the observant soldier whose readiness to help never wavered, regardless of whether he was on active duty. When journalists later questioned him about his immediate response, the Marine responded with characteristic modesty. That gesture indicates someone could be facing serious danger. When you witness it, there's no time for second guessing. You take action. It's simply what our training teaches us. The victim's relatives subsequently revealed that the imposter had been attempting to manipulate her into transferring ownership of her house and life savings. Because of her sharp awareness and the Marine's watchful protection, everything she had worked for throughout her lifetime remained secure. True heroes don't always don flowing capes. Sometimes they wear military fatigues and sit unassumingly in restaurants with devoted dogs lying at their side. And occasionally, the most minor gesture, just a few fingers moving in a specific way, can mean the difference between catastrophe and salvation. Before we wrap up today's story, please share in the comments section which part of the world you're joining us from. We're always excited to connect with our viewers. If this tale resonated with you, please show your support by hitting the like button, subscribing to our channel, and sharing your thoughts in the comments below.